Sup nerds, I'm CuppaJoey and welcome back to another episode of r/Am I the Butthole? Got 3 stories coming up for you and I'm just gonna be honest and say they're veering a tad more on the butthole side. Am I the butthole for doubting my sister-in-law? Throwaway and mobile. I don't think I'm the butthole here, but my brother firmly disagrees. I, 20, male, have a tendency to not believe people when they first tell me something. I'm not sure why, but my first instinct is always no, that's wrong, and I'll do it my way. Even if there's some kind of expert in their field, my first instinct is to doubt what they say. My brother, 29 male, says it's because I labour under the delusion that I'm smarter than I actually am, and that I was the butthole for thinking I knew better and never apologising when I'm wrong. My sister-in-law, R, is a nurse, and yesterday in the family Zoom she said unfortunately she wouldn't be able to join everyone for Thanksgiving. She was supposed to have this year off, but her hospital is all hands on deck right now because of several nurses being quarantined. Without thinking about it, I just said the first thing that came to my mind, that's not true, you just don't want to make the trip. My parents and brother jumped all over me and R sarcastically said, yeah, I'd much rather spend 12 or more hours on my feet dealing with sick people than enjoying a good home-cooked meal. I got irritated because I felt attacked, so I signed off. I got a message from my mum saying that I owe R an apology. I said I wasn't going to apologise for that. My brother is saying I need to grow up and stop being a butthole, and the sooner I realise I'm not the smartest person in the room, the better my life will be. I think everyone is really overreacting, and that's just how I am, but I figured I'd put it out there. Am I the butthole? Okay, not only do I think that OP here is a butthole, but I think that he is so much of a butthole, right, that it's not him that has written the story. This just reads so much like this is his brother, or like somebody that was there, or even the sister-in-law, that is just so annoyed that they're like, but instead of wanting to write it from their point of view, they just wanted all the people to come out telling this guy what a butthole he was, and so the best way to do it was to write it from his point of view. That's just what I think, because there were a few lines like, I can understand at the beginning it does say things like, I'm not sure why, but that's my first instinct. But then when it goes on to say things like, my brother says that I labour under the delusion that I'm smarter than I actually am, and, I got irritated because I felt attacked, even though they had just been nasty for no reason, and, said that their sister-in-law, their nurse of a sister-in-law was, looking after sick people during a freaking pandemic. And then to go, I felt attacked. It just reads so kind of, I'm clearly the bad guy here. I don't know. It doesn't feel genuine to me, but I thought I'd throw it in there anyway. Am I the butthole for getting my co-worker demoted for trying to pull me out of an anxiety attack? Some background. I have a medical issue that causes me pain every day. My mother had it and eventually was a factor in her death. So, at work there was this girl that was very touchy. She would go from desk to desk and rub people's backs and ask how they were doing. At first, I politely asked her not to touch me because of my issue. She said okay, but it never stopped. She kept touching me every day and forgetting about my issue. She would come behind me and start deep massaging my shoulders saying, "You look stressed." This would cause painful spasms to go down my back. I would beg her to stop. I made a request to be moved away from her and made small reports to my supervisor. Well, at work I had an anxiety attack. I was overstressed, it felt like there were too many people around me and it was getting hard to breathe. I excused myself and went to the bathroom. I washed my face and tried to calm down in the bathroom. That is when she walked in. I was leaning over the sink trying to focus on my breathing. She asked if I was okay, I told her that I was fine and just needed some space. She comes to me and starts rubbing my back. I tell her to stop. She hugs me and I try to move away and hold her at a distance. I say again, please leave me alone, I need space. She pushes me against the wall and restrained me, repeating, name what see, name what you smell, name what you feel. She was trying to get me grounded or something. But the entire time I was in so much pain that I could not even think straight. I freak out and try and push her away, and that is when my boss walked in. She asked what was happening and I ran out. I met with my boss later and told her what happened. She had already known about my condition. Well, apparently she had already been warned about touching me from my past complaint. She was brought in and told that she was being moved to a different position for not abiding by her previous warning. The new position had a pay cut. My other co-worker said that it wasn't fair because she was just trying to help. How she saw I was having an anxiety attack and was just trying to help me out of it. I explained that she literally held me down against my will and threw my back out. They say because her intentions were pure, I should not have reacted so violently. This ain't gonna surprise anybody listening to my channel to hear that I absolutely do not in any way, shape or form think that the person that went through the anxiety attack, that think that OP was in any way the butthole here. Honestly, if I had a co-worker that was coming around and rubbing my shoulders and telling me that I look stressed, I would feel so freaking uncomfortable by that too. I personally am not that big on being touched. Like, I will hug my friends, but you have to be a pretty good friend for me to feel comfortable hugging you. Pretty much just my D&D group, because they are literally my best friends, and that's about it. I think about, apart from a few other, really good friends within the trans community, I don't actually hug people that often, and I don't really like physical contact that much. I definitely would have lost my temper with this person if they had persisted. I most likely wouldn't have gone the official routes. I may have even been called in for, losing my temper with them, actually. I mean, okay, so I'd like to think that my audience are the kind to grab somebody without their consent after they have been specifically told not to. However, anxiety attacks, it's very subjective, because how an individual person is pulled out of their anxiety attack depends on each person. Although, having said that, I do not know a single person that would suddenly feel less anxious after being physically restrained. This whole thing just seems like an absolute nightmare to work with, and all of the people blaming OP, saying, oh, well, the intentions were pure, the phrasing says that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I'm not entirely sure whether the intentions were good, because, from the track record, it seems that she was only doing this in an attempt to, it's like a kind of a virtue signaling, kind of, oh, look, I saved this person from their anxiety attack, aren't I a good person? It's okay if I touch you without consent, and all that stuff. It completely felt wrong to me. It did not feel like the intentions were pure at all, and even if they were, the fact that people are blaming OP for this is really bad. She had a warning. She knew that she shouldn't be touching random people anymore. If you've been told about that, then you should be, aware. If I was pulled in and got a freaking warning over touching people, I mean, that wouldn't happen, but if I did, I would feel so embarrassed and just so ashamed that that was something that I'd done. So yeah, not the butthole by any means. And if any of you think that she was, then just freaking leave. Am I the butthole for this you in someone I went to high school with? A lot of people I went to high school with got pregnant or got someone pregnant either in high school or right out of high school. Things happen. I don't in any way look down on these people or judge them for this. However, these people love to judge other people and claim that they are somehow more adult than other people just because they started families at 16, 17, or 18 years old. They also claim that they are better than people who waste time and money going to college. However, while these people have kids and are married, they still have never grown out of their high school mentality. One woman in particular posted a meme a few months ago that said something along the lines of, I'd much rather spend my partying years at home being a mother than getting wasted with friends. Cool. Everyone's allowed to have their own opinion. Today, she posted pictures of her and her friends at a bar, clearly trashed. Mind you, also without masks and in a packed bar, but that's besides the point. So I commented to her photo to a link of her meme she shared and said, this you? Her husband private messaged me saying I was being rude by shaming her and that she deserves to have a fun night out. I told him I was just pointing out that she was contradicting herself. Am I the butthole? So by the general Reddit community, this was voted as everyone sucks, and I can see why people would think that, but I'm actually going to go ahead and vote not the a-hole in this situation. My reasoning is pretty clear. These people are judgmental, right? The person that OP is judging are people that are doing just that. People that are clearly insecure about the fact that they've had a family so young, so they're trying to make up for it by acting that they're better, that it's the better choice, that they've somehow, that everybody else who hasn't done that is somehow a loser, and that they're pushing that idea just as a way to feel superior to other people, which is really pathetic, I understand people feel insecure about certain things, and how far you've come in terms of career, education, or family can easily be something that many people feel insecure about. But, you can't go around being judgmental and acting like your queen mum and then, post a picture of yourself trashed. And yeah, one of the reasons that I say that it is definitely deserved, they were wearing masks. There's a freaking pandemic going on, and they were wearing masks, and that was the nail in the coffin that said that they deserve to be shamed. I'm all for shaming freaking plague rats. Shame. Freaking plague rats going around with me dressed as a nun behind them, just shaking my freaking bell. Shame. That's how I am with plague rats. So yeah, I'd say not the a-hole in this case. If they don't want people to, be judgmental to them, if they're going to be super sensitive about that, then they shouldn't be, throwing out the net of judgment, because then it's just going to come back to them, You might have seen on my page that I now have a Patreon. So for just £2, you will get exclusive access to my blooper reel with unseen bits that I haven't yet posted on this channel. And at the highest tier, you will get your name in credits at the end of my videos. Bearing in mind that I post a video 5 times a week, that's a lot of videos you're going to get your name in credits on. If not, a little like and a subscribe on my channel help a lot. Well, that's it for this episode of r/Am I the Butthole. I do apologise if this one was a little bit heavy on the subject matter. That's the problem with Am I the Butthole. Some of the people that actually talk on there are real buttholes, or they have been through a load of crap. And as I say at the end of every episode, if you enjoyed hearing from this subreddit, or would like to hear from any other subreddit, or in fact would like to see any of the other weird crap I like to get up to, then do let me know in the comments. And until then, I will see you all next time.